Today the story of my presentation is to tell you how Odoo is my best ally as an entrepreneur, how I discovered Odoo, why I choose Odoo in the beginning. You will see that none of everything that I'm telling you today was through a couple of months ago, so there was a key difference between my Odoo use from a couple of months ago and today. And also why Odoo is today my current digital toolbox to make business. Let's go back in the past, between December 2020 and March 2021. I was working for a large company, and I totally changed my world. I became self-employed, and the objective was to take over a company where my first mission was to digitalize. This is the digital level of the company I had to take over in the beginning, and it's really not a joke. Everything was like this, everything was in paper, everything they did was a sheet of paper. So at that time, my first mission is, okay, now I have to make it digital, and I introduce you my best friend S, which was the software I was using at that time. Sorry, the company was using at that time. I promised myself not to mention the name of that software, but it was definitely not the good one. So we had, because I had my partner, the guy from whom I had to buy the company over, and we had to choose a new ERP. That choice was really difficult. You have on the market so much possibilities, so much offers, and everyone is selling you something that you can't see, you can't imagine. I can sell you a smartphone, I can sell you a fridge, I can sell you anything, but software is so difficult to buy because you cannot imagine what is behind. There was also the how self-sufficient will we be with that ERP? Was the company reliable? I had a guy who came and he sold me, or he tried to sell me, a software 100% homemade from himself. And I said, yeah, but what if you go bankrupt, my best friend? And he said, yeah, then you have the code, you have both that. Yeah, but if I want to evolve, if I want to change, yeah, then you have to try again. So understanding what I was buying, and at that time, my key account was a guy, Julien, who is now in Africa for Odoo. He did it on a great way, and we chose, of course, Odoo. I don't know if you started, sorry for the quality, I took it from the Odoo webpage yesterday evening, but this is the satisfaction evolving of implementing Odoo, and I'm not an exception to that graph. I really had a very satisfaction moment when I was talking with Julien, pre-sales, and then you have the kickoff, and then you say, "Oi, what did I bought?" After that, you have the implementation that comes, and it's down to hell. And I don't speak about the go live. Go live, I was the only guy knowing Odoo in the company, and the months that came after, I became 100% single point of contact Odoo in the company. While you use it, and that is the funny story about Odoo, you just have a great skyrocketing increase of your satisfaction. You realize how powerful Odoo is. We had one problem, and at that time the pricing was not the same. So every time you needed to have a new app, you had to pay. So if you want to buy something, but you're a small company, and you say, okay, is it worth it to pay every month so much euros for an additional app you have to, yeah. And then comes the new pricing. And that is, I don't know if you were there this morning at the keynote with Fabien, but I explained how powerful that change of pricing was, because it changed the mindset. With that new pricing, you have to think in yourself and to say, okay, now in my company, if I want to do something, or if I'm already doing something, if I already have a process, is there an app to do it? That was a change of mindset, and the only thing that you have to do in that case is change management. You have to adapt your teams, you have to adapt the way they work, and saying, okay, this marketing emails, this holidays, this, I don't know, whatever app on Odoo, let's do it standard. It's implemented, let's test it, and it's easier to, in my opinion, in small companies, it's easier to change the people process or the way they work than to change the code behind. So I'm coming back to my digital company there, and it became this. We started with a few apps: sales, purchase, manufacturing, accounting, documents, inventory. The most obvious things when you need an ERP, because the mission was, when I had to implement it, the mission was the new ERP has to do exactly the same as the previous one. So I'm thinking back of my good friend S. That was what he was doing. But after the new pricing, the website came, the CRM came, the timesheets came, everything. We thought about it. I thought about something. I implemented it. Well, I just make the configuration. 1 hour on the Odoo website or the Odoo documentation, and you have it. So it became, and then it just went another way, the help decks, the projects. And you will see that at the end, even small features about holidays, about signatures are also added, because it's just make the configuration and centralize everything that you do, digital or not digital. Let's centralize it in one environment that everyone knows. When I added the, it's not called congé, but in English it's a leave, I think, the app leave. When I added this, it was just, the people were used to another app, and they were used to having to get used to it. So it was really interesting. I'm in that company, I'm working, we are 2 years after, and then we have the blackout. The project fails. I do not take the company over, and I have to reinvent myself. I'm speaking about, it was this summer, so it was a couple of months ago. I totally stop. I take care of my kids. I take care of myself, and I say, okay, now I need something. I need a new ID. I need one ID because I have one certainty. I will remain entrepreneur, and I will do it with Odoo. It was a certainty. And this is a screenshot made yesterday evening of my Odoo today, so my own company. As I said, when I started in 2021, I quit my employee. So I was not employee in that company, I was independent. And this is my Odoo, because at that time also I needed an employee, so I had an employee in my structure. All the HR apps were there. I started in my company only with the accounting one. It was in the old pricing, so I didn't have the money to expand to all of them. But again, the new pricing had also on my own company a huge effect. Today I'm able to use this, and I think I'm paying 29 euro. No, I have a studio, 39? 29, thank you. A month for this entire marvelous, it's my opinion, I'm not paid to say that, ERP. So for the same reason, I wouldn't use my own smartphone without my banking app, my identification app, my text messages, my emails, and so on. I will not run my business without Odoo. And this was the introduction, but also the conclusion of my speech today. Thank you. Are there questions?
Can you hear me? Oh, perfect. Thanks a lot for the presentation, Quentin. I don't know if there are any questions in the room.
Couple of questions. First, you are an Odoo partner?
No, sorry. Officially, yes, but it was for fun. I'm explaining myself. when I had to think about what, so officially I think I'm on the website, or I'm considered as a partner. I bought the partnership for 1 year because I wanted to do two things. Um, I wanted to know more about, for my own business, how do I have to, if tomorrow I'm selling some bread or whatever I'm doing tomorrow, I want to have 100% the, the, the keys of my own ERP for doing some things more, having all the information that I don't have as a client. So yes, of course, I bought the partnership, but to be really honest, and I don't know, I didn't read the contract in the details, but the reason is really not to sell my own as an implementator. I'm not. If I implement, it's with my friends. Or did you listen this morning at the keynote with Fabien?
Yes.
Yes.
You
So
were there. That's why.
yeah, I was explaining that one of my friends is a dentist, and he needed an e-learning platform because he's a really how to say it. He's famous. He's a good dentist in France, and he needed to share his content. And so I'm not. I'm not a partner. It's not my job to implement Odoo, but yeah, I took the partnership. So I'm a kind of strange guy, I think, like my friend
Yes,
S.
I'm gonna call you a consultant then.
Yes, I'm a consultant now because I need to feed my kids. So I have short-term consultancy jobs, not to implement Odoo, but to do other things. And those are short-term contracts, just to get something to eat at the end of the month. Um, but definitely the reason of that moment is to find a new entrepreneur challenge, to to have my own company, or to buy another one.
Well, thanks for the answer. We're going to take the next question.
Thank you for the presentation. I want to ask, how do you use Odoo to reach new customer? Or if you use Odoo with the marketing
Mm.
app, or are you thinking to use Odoo also for your, to have leads and
Yeah.
qualify?
Like I showed here, there are two answers to your question because there are two ways of understanding it. As I said to Mr. Dare, I'm not looking at companies who want to implement Odoo. In the beginning, I sell my services, my consultant services in business development, in everything that you can imagine. And I'm using the CRM because in my business, the CRM is something that has a lot more of potential than I don't have it, I think, the email marketing. No. I used it in my previous company, the email marketing, because the email marketing app is something that is mass communication. With my size of company, I have to target more. So my CRM, I think I have a couple of 200 targets in it. And if I want to contact them, I contact them directly. So if you're an Odoo partner, I think you have to, because Odoo is really large in the spectrum they have as things that they can offer, the tools like email marketing are tremendous because they are able to they're broader in the broadcast of information. And if you're a partner, what I think is what you have to sell, because clients always want to pay less. They want to be, they don't really like, I think, to be served by someone who is not from the company. And I'm not saying this negatively. In my previous company, I was also representing other companies, and that is a difficulty. But if you sell something more, why do they have to take a partner more than Odoo? You have to answer that question, and you have to start your communication with that answer. Let's take me. I'm not saying me, but you in that case. Let's take me in order to digitalize, implement some processes, professionalize your company. Just this. If this is your speech by everyone, I'm not able to speak about companies in the world, but if you take the small and medium companies in Belgium, they have all that problem, or they have Odoo. It's really something that it's a problem. Every owner of company knows that problem because they are 50 years old, they are 55 years old, and they started in a world that was different. It was okay to have that. Today it's not okay anymore. So you have to focus on why are you better than, or what is your additional added value. Odoo has one added value, but you will have more added value by knowing the business, knowing their business. And I think, or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but if you're a partner, the best idea is to specialize yourself. Let's choose. You will maybe, if you are an industrial specialist about manufacturing, about whatever, let's look at the industrials, at really the one who are producing some things in their company, or if you're an HR process specialist, let's sell that, and then you just use Odoo and you implement Odoo in order to give also the tool. As partner, I think you have two added values. You explain not the business, you will not tell them how to do their job better, but how they can optimize their company. And you say, by the way, I do it only with Odoo. And that is really something very important, because if you only sell, I'm an Odoo implementer, they will take their, I know it happens that way. When I was selling electrical components that were not produced by my company. And the first reaction when I sold those components, the people were asking the manufacturer, the original manufacturer, we had to find our added value, and that's how we sold it. I think it's exactly the same with Odoo.
Great presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to know what happened, looking backwards, what happened with the business you bought and that it didn't go?
No, I didn't build the business. That was the problem. So the objective. So I was self-employed, but it has nothing to do with Odoo. That is the reason why I worked with Odoo. Why I met Odoo. But the story, and I will not explain today. But the story is just that I collaborate with a company, and the final goal of that collaboration was that I had to take over the company, buy over the company. And for many reasons that I will not tell today, the project just finished and it didn't happen. But I'm a quite positive guy, and there is never ever something negative that happens in your life. It's you only have to enjoy the way, to enjoy the path. And I enjoyed those 3 years, and because there are more than one of the super positive things is that I met Odoo. But the new me in the future using Odoo, I think I will be stronger in my future business, whatever it be.
Okay, great. And would you take over again?
Yeah, of course.
A company like that, like in that
Sector?
sector, or not sector, but as disorganized and not digitalized?
Of course. But before or after I take it over, I would do the same. The
Sure.
Odoo has nothing to do in the fact that the project failed.
It's business processes and everything, optimizing all your processes.
Exactly.
I do understand because I'm a customer.
Yeah.
And I have Odoo since 2021, but in community. And then I bought Enterprise, and it was a disaster with the partner in Colombia. I do live in Colombia.
Mhm.
And it was a disaster, but not because of the Odoo, but because of the partner. It was silver and disaster, total disaster, as that dinosaur you showed.
Yeah.
So now I'm implementing again Odoo, migrating. I will be migrating this year or next year beginning. And so I love Odoo, and I think the same as you do. And I would like to ask a final question. question is, are you just interested in Belgium, or would you be interested in taking over another company out of Belgium?
I don't care about where. What I care about is the sector. I'm since the beginning of my career, 15 years ago, 15, not 50,
Yeah, right. That's right. Not
15 years ago, um, the, I'm specialized in current, in electrical current, and where I would like to specialize myself is in direct current. You know, direct current is everything that is going in a battery, in a laptop, and so the because I'm now like a consultant, like I said, I have the time to choose, and I'm not in a rush. Taking over a company is something, or buying shares in a company and working in it is definitely my goal. But I'm trying firstly to find it in the electrical sector, especially.
Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation.
Welcome.
Just want to ask, what was the biggest difficulty you faced during the go live stage? And what was the best takeaway from the experience?
The question is difficult because you ask the same at one time. The biggest challenge were the people. Like now I think that I learned how change management is. So this is the biggest challenge, because you have people, they loved the dinosaur internally. They didn't know that there was something else than the dinosaur. And the biggest challenge was to convince them. And it's also the reason why you always have that dip. You can never, ever, you can convince someone of changing something. Do you know that I think that every morning, everyone in this room, if you brush your teeth and if you eat, everyone has his own path. You do it, or the first, or the other way around, but you always do it the same, and the same, and the same, again and again. Changing this is absolutely impossible. You do it, you have some automatic things that are going into your brain, and that is the reason why changing the tool where the people are using every day is so difficult. They didn't realize the added value before it happens, really. So that was the biggest challenge, the change management. And I think the takeaway is the sentence I just wrote here. It's that now that you are used to do it, or when you get used to make change management, it's a game. You convince people. You have to sell them Odoo internally. You are convinced, and so the curve that I showed, I think you have two curves. You have the Spock curve, and then you have the curve of the people inside. The curve is exactly the same. It's just a little bit, shifted. Thank you.
All right, I think we still have like a few minutes for a last question.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah, great presentation. It shows, because this is the first presentation, I think, where every member in the audience has a question. So most of the talks I've been to were about small, medium businesses for Odoo and how to take that a step further into corporate. Now, you're the second person I meet this week who is using Odoo more on a personal level. My question is, what do you see, how do you see this evolve? Is this just two weird people I happen to meet in the same week? Or is this something that can really grow, where as a person you almost need an ERP?
Difficult question as well, or interesting. I don't think so. I'm an exception. I started to use it at a kind of small and medium-sized company. Then I applied to myself, my company, on my own, because I know that I will grow, or I hope it. But if I had to do it myself, I think I would just focus on one app, and that's also the reason why it's great in the pricing. It is that the one app free thing. So I'm absolutely convinced that Odoo is ready for that. It's maybe not that easy to get, because I wouldn't have installed my accounting app if I didn't knew Odoo before. So I think that I'm not an exception, but the way to have that in a larger scale is that it has to be more communicated as just click, and then you have quick configuration things, and every information for the configuration is on the website. So for one person or companies where you only have one guy or one girl, you just have to say that it's reachable. Let's do it. And then the one app is something I think totally understandable. Why did I want to have those other apps? It's because if I find something, I know that it will be within my company and with Odoo. So of course, so it's just, I think if we met within 10 years, and my project is okay, has grown, and so on and so on. Yeah, I will be in the other category that you mentioned. I will be in the small and medium-sized company. So you have to start somewhere, and I think that the two people that you met in me and the other in my same case, it's just a matter of evolving. We are in the beginning of our trajectory, and that's also why I concluded like saying that it's the key to open many doors. It's my certainty. It's that I need those keys to open the doors, or I need that key, Odoo, with all the keys from the apps to open the doors that I need. I take one last example, but if tomorrow I launch a company that is making some service or whatever, assistance on the road, because I love the electrical cars and I want to save all the people that are on the road with their electrical car, I will have the assistance app or service on-site app. And it's the reason why starting small with that good pricing tool with so much functionalities is something interesting for someone who is in the beginning of the start. Last conclusion, I don't know if you know that picture of the guy sitting at his table, and he has Amazon.com written on the wall, and the sentence is, "Do not compare your step 1 with his step 20. Everyone has a step 1.
Thanks a lot, and that wraps up our Q&A session. Brilliant. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot for your answers and the presentation, and thanks to our audience as well.